You might know my next guest as Janine Pratt in the movie Ordinary People, Evelyn Nesbit from the turn-of-the-century drama Ragtime, or even as a singer-songwriter in the band Sadie and the Hotheads. But here at WGBH, actress Elizabeth McGovern is best known as the Countess of Grantham on Downton Abbey.
Welcome to Downton.
And now she's going from the Countess to the Chaperone, playing the title character in a new movie based on 1920s film star Louise Brooks and the woman charged with looking after the more than rebellious 15-year-old.
Let me put it to you plainly. Men don't like candy that's been unwrapped.
What?
Well, maybe for lark, but not for marriage.
Really?
I have not said anything funny.
Love that scene. Just a day ahead of the Chaperone's New York theatrical release, Elizabeth McGovern joins me now. Great to see you.
Very nice to be here.
We're going to start with a quiz. Is that okay?
Okay, oh my God.
I'm going to spell a
Okay.
Massachusetts city, and you have to pronounce it. Haverhill. It's tough. Can you do it?
Haverhill.
Haverhill. It's close enough.
Oh, okay.
Let 'em go
I know you don't pronounce the second H.
Whatever. Let them go see the movie, and they can figure that
Good.
out. So it is the story of this fairly wild young teen and her uptight chaperone, who would be you, correct? Can you
that's an
flesh it out a little bit?
description.
Thank you very much.
Well, the singular thing about this wild teen is that she turns into the movie star Louise Brooks, who was, if anybody knows anything about movies of the 1920s, an icon. And she was the poster child for the flapper, for the liberated woman. And she and this very unlikely traveling companion have quite an interesting time in New York one hot summer when she goes there to study dance. And that is more or less the story of the Chaperone.
How much did you know about her before you took on this project?
Probably about as much as the next guy. I mean, everybody knows this Louise Brooks with the haircut.
The hair, right,
you know.
exactly.
But I did a lot of reading, and she is indeed a very fascinating character.
Well, she's pretty intense, her character, and your character is pretty intense, too.
Indeed.
It's not just like you're guiding her, shepherding around.
Indeed,
But
yes.
you've
I have
got
a few
your own
issues of my own.
You've got some issues of your own. You know, the thing I did not realize until I started reading about this, Elizabeth, a few days ago, this is the first, as I said, the first theatrical release from Masterpiece, this legendary monster of a thing that has changed the world. That's a pretty big deal, is it not?
Yeah, it is. And I think they're the perfect company for it, because I think we're living in an age, and in fact I've been talking to people around Boston as I talk about this movie, and a lot of them, like me, are in agreement that there's nothing for us in the movies. We don't really want to see cartoons. We're grown-ups. We want to see grown-up people, and we want to see grown-up women, and we want to see them living out their lives and changing and growing. And so I think this kind of person has found this at Masterpiece on television for years and years and years. I grew up, and that's where I found it since I was a little girl. So now for this to be their first theatrical release, I feel so proud. It feels so right. And this is a movie for that audience.
I'm so glad you said what you said, because I was deciding whether I was too nervous to say to you what now I can say to you.
Go on.
Is it seemed I had an Elizabeth McGovern marathon at my house last
Right.
night. I mean, music and movies and all
Scary.
this sort of stuff. And it seems today you're sort of on this mission to put middle-aged women, like, is that fair? Center stage. Whether,
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't have said that. Both here, your music.
No, I'm very proud.
Oh, you are? Good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel that we're out there, and yet I meet them. I mean, we're alive. And I don't think there's anything for us. I mean, you don't see them in music very often, and you don't see them portrayed in movies and television.
You know, I read in a Guardian interview with you ages ago, your least favorite question is, what movie were you in again? Well, I would never say that to you. What I could have said to you until a couple of days ago, you've made CDs? I didn't know about Sadie and the Hotheads. For those of you who don't know, here's a little bit from a song called, I think it's called Nothing New. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Here's Nothing New. It's like an out about it. When you know a person in a particular way, it's so weird. But is that about your parents? Did I read that somewhere?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. Oh, you have done your homework.
I have done a little bit.
Yeah.
And so the new thing is called The Truth, right?
That's right.
And what's
Yeah,
that? What's that like?
Well, it's different. You know, I felt like there's no point in making the same music. And we don't have this pressure of what the fans want because there's only about 50 of them.
Well, there's 51 actually now.
Thank
there may
you.
be a
Thank
few
you.
more
I'm very
before the
pleased
night's
to join the
over, yeah.
club. We need you.
Thank you.
So this is got a lot of really interesting collaborations. I'm really happy to say that Samuel L. Jackson does a bit on it. This wonderful singer, Jake Morrell. We've got James Walsh, who's a wonderful English musician. And it's kind of going to a different place. But it's always the same in the sense that it doesn't fit any particular genre. It's a lot of different styles.
You know, I asked you today when you were on the radio with me and Marjorie Egan, why the obsession with Downton Abbey. By the way, I hate that kind of thing, by the way, and I loved Downton Abbey. You can't explain me either, can you? When I heard about it, even though I love Rebecca Eaton's work, and I love Masterpiece, and I love all this stuff, I thought I would make it through a half an episode. But it's like so addictive. It is, and you don't know why, right?
God, if I could tell you, I'd be a gazillionaire because, you know, whatever that is, that thing that makes something connect is a really ephemeral thing. And
well, it's not that ephemeral because part of it's bottled, obviously, with some of the players in the Chaperone, no?
Oh, well, let's hope
so.
We'll see. Let's hope so.
You know, I asked you today, you're a dual citizen, and I'm obsessed with Brexit. We talk about it on the radio, we talk about it on TV, and you mentioned today that you voted to remain. And I hope you can explain something to me that I've asked a lot of foreign policy experts, former ambassadors, those sort of people. When 5 million people sign a petition saying, let's have a second referendum, when it's clear that some key representations like the money we pay to the EU is going to go into the National Health Service, which clearly was not true. Why is there such resistance to what seems to me to be such an obvious next step?
Oh, my God. I don't get it. I mean, it's just so straightforward. We need to have a chance to have the people look again at what the situation is now. Call it what you will. I don't need to call it a second referendum. I call it, now we have details about what this is going to actually mean for the country going ahead. We understand. It's like, oh, we need to leave, like we're moving out of a house, but we haven't got any place to move into. And the place that we do have to move into is looking very grim, and it could be grim for a very long time. Why not have another think?
It's a perfect image. So you're sitting here just hours ahead of the premiere of this movie. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really excited. I really love the movie. I think there are people out there that will love it, that are looking for what I'm looking for, this kind of story that isn't nasty, that isn't full of aliens shooting guns with their eyeballs. It's about grown-up people who are not dead, they're still alive, they're still finding themselves, and learning from very young people.
It's great. I'd like to talk more, but I got to go listen to your new album. So
okay,
take care,
good.
Elizabeth. It's a
That's
pleasure
okay,
to meet
then.
you. Thanks so much, Elizabeth McGovern. You can catch The Chaperone at Landmark Cinema in Kendall Square. It starts there April 12th. For more information, head to thechaperonefilm.com.